You asked for it, you got it. I've been meaning to do a video like this for a while, though, just for anybody who's just complete beginner on CNC, like the little Millwright M3 or other little CNC machines. So what I'm going to do, I had a few requests for something like this, is I'm going to take you through the whole thing. I'm going to design a small little part. Actually, I make LED signs, and this is one of my LED bases. This is a 9-inch LED base. And we're not going to make one of these because I want this to be a small little project that we can just jam right through, but it'll cover everything that I do to make one of these. And so instead of making one this size, I'm going to make it out of something like this, so it's going to be a lot smaller. Probably, well, let's see. This little piece of wood here is 142 millimeters by 64 millimeters. So we're going to make it, probably 120, 130 millimeters long and maybe 30 to 40 millimeters wide. So we're going to make a base like this out of this. And we're going to take you through everything, every single dadgum step. And so first thing I'm going to do is just to get this out of the way, since this is basics, and you guys probably already know this, is we're going to mark our centers on the board here. And at this point, I'm going to switch down to a desktop view. So see you later. All right, I'm going to work here as best I can and then show you what we're doing. There we go. That's square. That's square to you. It's not square to me, but it'll have to do. And so simply going to find the center here. I cut this guy, and it's, I don't know if you can tell, but it's off. This is a little scrap piece. So we're going to make this, well, first we'll measure. It's 64 mil wide. I'm going to leave some room on the sides to hold down. This doesn't have to be big, so we're going to make this. We're going to make this. We're going to make this 36 mil. We're going to make this 36 mil deep here. So we're 64 down there. 65, almost 66 down there. Well, we're going to go right for the middle. We're going to go conservative on this. That's 64.3 right there. So half of that's 32. Say 32.15. We'll measure 32.15 on the old calipers here. And this doesn't have to be exact. You can be as exact as you want. So we're going to cut most of this away. There's 32.2. That's close enough for what we're doing. We're going to mark that. There's the center that way. And if we're going 30, what'd I say? 36. That was 32 half. Oh, it's half of this. Yeah, duh. 36, I'm going to say 36 by 86. How's that for just a nice round thing ending up in sixes? 36 by 86 is what we're going to do there. But we're going to measure this long ways here, and it's about 142, so that's 71. 71 is roughly halfway. And like I said, there's more than one way to do this. I go for the center. It's always good to know your centers. I go for the center also because I make all my cuts. All my origins are from the center. Some people make their origins from the left front. Some do the left rear. A lot of people do from the left front. I like doing everything from the center. I just do. I don't know if I don't know why going from the left front is better. It may be in certain instances it's better, but I like going from the center. I just get a better feel for how things are and where things are. So I'm simply marking the center here. That's all I'm doing. There, we've got our center marked. And so later on when we start our cut, that's where we'll put our end mill right there, and we'll start all of our cuts from this point right here. This will be our X and our Y0, and then our Z0 will be at the top of this piece of wood right here. So X, Y, and Z0 are going to be right here, right at this top of the piece of wood right here. And so from here out, everything, all the cuts are going to be in relation to this center point right here. So 36 by 86. That's what I said we're going to do, right? And so we want to file, create a new design. Immediately save it. Give it a name. We're going to call this 86 mil by 36 mil LED base. How low can you go? Death row. What a brother know. All right, so now we've given it a name, and from here on, Fusion 360 will auto-save for us. So go ahead and create your new design, save it, give it a name, do that right up front because you don't want to lose any work. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a 2-point rectangle. It's going to ask you to choose a face. I choose this one. That is the X, I guess. Now we're working on the X. It tells you to place the first corner. Click here. We're creating a 2-point rectangle. So click in the center, and that's it. Just click and drag. Click. Don't click again. Just drag out. And now you can see it's given us some dimensions already. Now you just type in what dimensions you want them to be. I wanted mine to be 36 mil high. There's 36 mil. Now hit tab. I'm going to jump over to the other one. Type in 86 because I wanted mine to be 36 mil by 86 mil. You type in whatever dimensions you want yours to be. Hit enter. Boom, there we are. We're locked in. Now, you can move these around. This is just simply telling you how big it is. It doesn't change anything. But for housekeeping, you can move this anywhere you want to. Just click and drag it. And once this starts filling up with dimensions, you may find yourself wanting this dimension to be down here or to be closer or to be out or whatever. So you can click and drag these wherever you want them to be. This is just a signpost. This is just showing you what the dimensions of your work are. Now let's talk about the dimensions of the work. These are things that when I first encountered Fusion 360 and CAD, I just didn't know. And so I'm going to tell you what I didn't know. I thought I had to put in this piece of wood here to be the exact size of the piece of wood I was going to be carving. No, Fusion 360 and this G-code that's going to come from all this doesn't care how big that scrap piece of wood you're putting in your machine is. All it wants to know is how big is the piece that you want after all the cutting is done and the sawdust has settled. So you put in the dimensions of the piece that you want. The final dimensions of this thing you're making, that's the dimensions that goes in here. We'll deal with how big the stock is, the wood you're cutting out of, or aluminum or plastic or whatever. We'll deal with how big it is later when we do setups. Right now, how big is your part? Put that in here. We're creating the part, the finished product. That's what we're creating. Now, if you remember, what we're making is one of these, an LED base. That's what we're making, but a lot smaller one. So now I've created the base here, except mine is 86 wide by 36 tall. This one's obviously bigger, but I've created that. Well, now we have to create these other pockets. These carved out pieces, we have to create that on our sketch here to be able to tell the machine how to do it and what to do. Now we're not going to create one exactly like this. I'm going to put in a little trough here, a little slot for the LED strip, like this one. A little slot for the LED strip to sit in, and I'll create a slightly larger slot here on the end because we're going to make this one a little different from what these are. These are for NeoPixels, and I have an Arduino Nano that goes there, or Pro Mini goes there, and some other stuff. This is going to be a more simplified version. But right now, we're going to put in this LED strip slot and then a slightly bigger slot here on the end, and we have to tell that. We have to tell Fusion 360 where we want that stuff to go. So at this point, we're going to draw some more rectangles. You can sketch here, choose on sketch. This is called a sketch, by the way, what we're writing right now. See where it says stop sketch? Once we're done with this, we'll click stop sketch. We're in a sketch right now in our modeling, or our model area of Fusion 360, or mode of Fusion 360. We're in model mode, and we're working on a sketch. See, these are our sketches. We can reveal that, and that'll show this sketch we're working on. Turn off the light bulb, and guess what happens to our sketch? Boom, it disappears. Turn the light bulb back on, there's our sketch. If you ever worked in Photoshop, this is like turning layers on and off. The 2-point rectangle, to create this LED slot. And this LED slot, we're going to come from the side. And I'm going to eyeball it here. We are about what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is about center. So we're going to come, for now, we're going to say we're going to start this slot here. And again, we're just going to click once, drag to whichever direction you want your slot to go in. And that's roughly how big I want it to be. 10, yeah, we want it to be, I think 10.3 is what these finally are. So there we are. I know from doing these other LED bases that 10.3 is how wide I want that slot to be, because that's how wide the LED strip is. And this is a total of 86 mil, and that's 60 mil. That's actually a good size. We're going to leave that 60 there, so we're going to hit enter. Now we've got a new rectangle in there, and we've got our sizes on it. It doesn't show the sizes or the dimensions here like it does there. And well, actually, no, it does here on the end. I wonder if that's because I didn't put in a custom size. Because see here, I can now double click this and change it. Change that to 7 mil if I want to. Or and you can do Command Z. You know, I'm on a Mac. You can do Command Z and step back one, or probably Control Z on a Windows machine and step back one. But it didn't give me the dimension that I wish it had. I wish it had given me the dimension here for the 60 mil. I'm not sure why it didn't. I'm going to back up a step, and we're going to do that again just to see if I can get that dimension back, because that's nice to have both of those dimensions. I'm going to do a custom dimension. So I did a custom on this side here, and it left the dimension on the sketch for me. We're going to go up here and we're going to make this one 60, which is custom because that's not where it started at, and hit enter. And it gave it to me that time. So I guess when you just do the size that you drag, it doesn't give you the dimensions. I wonder why. Say if we just drag this new one, and I accept both of them. I don't do anything custom. It gave me the one dimension, but not the other one. Well, I don't know why it did that, but it did. So there you go. So again, remember I told you can drag these around. I'm gonna drag this down here just so I can, I like it in the middle so it can show me that this square, that's how big it is. And I'll do the same here. This square or this rectangle, that's how big it is. And so I'm just getting things close here now. There are ways you can go in and center things up. I'm not that good with centering things. I recommend you do get good with centering, because there's a whole philosophy and a best practices that deals with constraints on these sketches. And I really need to get better at those constraints, because right now I don't. I'm not very good at the constraints, and I'm sure that's going to bite me in the ass later on down the line. But for today, we're not going to worry about it. Today, this is just a, hey, here's how to get a part out of Fusion 360 onto the machine and cut out and in your hands and boom, done. So I am going to center this part, but I'm going to do it the clumsy way. People that know how to center it, you're going to be screaming at your computers right now because of the way I'm doing it. I'm simply going to measure. I clicked I for measure and click what you want to measure from and to. And you can see that is 11 millimeters. I'm going to hit escape. Then I'm going to hit I again and click the bottom line of that rectangle and come down to the bottom and click. And it's going to tell me it's 14.7 millimeters. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut that in half, and I'm going to use that as my center. So 14 by 7 and 11 at the top. So that leaves me, 3.7 that I need to trade off to center this thing. So if I cut that in half, that's 1.5 and 0.7, 1.85. So if I make the top 12.85, 11 plus 1.85 is 12.85. I'm going to click D for distance. Click this top line here and click this. And I'm going to drag this way out here. And it's 11 now, and I'm going to put in 12.85. and hit enter. And that is now, this line is now 12.85 millimeters from this line. I'm going to drag that back over here just so it'll be there and it'll show us that. I'm going to click escape to get out of the dimension, or the dimension mode. Otherwise we'll create more dimensions, which we're going to do anyway. So that's how I centered it up. There are other ways, other better ways to center it, but this is the way I do it. This could be one of those cases of do as I say, not as I do. So learn about centering your dimensions, learn about constraints. You'll be better off in the long run for it. It's on my list of things to do. I just haven't done it yet. I'm kind of doing it the old, the clumsy way. So that is now centered. That's 12.85 from that line to that line. And to double check it, click I for measure and click the bottom of this line, this rectangle to this, and it should be 12.85 because math. All right, so I hit escape again. Now we're centered that way. I'm going to go ahead and center it left to right too, because normally I wouldn't if I was actually making this to be a real base. I would offset it, but I'm not making this a real base. This is just a test piece for you guys. So I'm going to zoom in right now a little bit by using my scroll wheel. We're going to scroll back, which will zoom us in a little bit. And we're going to click hand down here, hand, which gives me the hand. Now we got a little higher resolution here. I'm going to do the same thing I did a minute ago. I'm going to click I for measure. We're going to measure the distance from this side of the rectangle to this edge of the thing. That's 11 mil. And we're going to do the same thing. I hit escape, then hit I again. We'll go from this side of the rectangle to the far side, and that is 15. So we're a distance of 4. Well, that's easy. We're going to do half of that, which is 2. So we're simply going to add 2 to this side over here. But I'm going to put the dimension on this side because we're going to put some stuff in here. So 11 plus 2 is 13. So we want this dimension, click D for dimension, be 13 millimeter. Click here, and then you want the dimension to run to here. Now drag down here and click once. And it's at 15 now, but I want that to be, what did I say, 13? 13 millimeters. Click escape to get out of dimension mode. Now this side is at 13 millimeters. I'm going to pull that up there just so it's right there. And again, to double check yourself, click I, go from this side of the rectangle to the outside, and that is also 13 millimeters. Click escape to get out of measure mode. And so now we've centered our rectangle here in the middle for where our LED strip is going to be. We're 12.85 mil from the top, 13 mil from the left. And those dimensions are equal on each side, top and bottom. So now we're centered. So now I'm going to put in another little pocket for the controller that controls the LED strips. We're going to create another 2-point rectangle. I'm going to create this one just for the hell of it. I'm going to create it up here. Right about there. I'm going to drag it over, and it's going to be about like that. That'll work. Yes, we're going to make this 6 mil by 12 mil. Hit enter. Now there's our rectangle. But we don't want it up there. We want it down here. Well, what I'm going to do is we're going to dimension it to put it down there where we want it. I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to hit D. We're going to dimension this from here down to the bottom. How far is that now? It's 43 millimeters now. Well, we want it to be a lot closer to that, so we're going to go 30 millimeters. That brought us down quite a bit, but not far enough. So I did that, and I did it in this way to show you that I'm going to escape out of the dimension mode. Now, this is a dimension, right? This edge here is 30 millimeters from this bottom edge. You want to change that, just double-click the number. Now you've changed it. So now we're going to drop that to 20. We've gotten closer. And we're getting closer. So now we're going to double-click that again and make that 16. Ooh, we're real close now. We're almost dadgum centered there now. Now we know that this is 36 millimeters. And this is, what, this is 6 millimeters? Yeah. I'm going to drag that dimension over here. Drag this one down here. So this is 6 millimeters, and the whole thing is 36 millimeters, so it should be 30 on the outside, so that's 15 on each top side. So we're at 16, so boom, math. There, we're centered. 15 from here to here, and we're going to click I to measure, top line to this line, boom, 15 millimeter up there. Hit escape to get out of measure mode. So now we're centered there. I'm going to zoom in again because we got some slop here, and I'm going to want to change that. See how this line for this little pocket we're put in doesn't quite meet this pocket? That means there's going to be some material there whenever we extrude this. See, this is all going to be a different height. This is going to be the full height of the full thickness of our wood. And these two aren't, because we're going to go in and pocket those out. So right now, if I extrude this part, this is going to put up a little channel of wood in between there on the left side and over here too. So I want to make this a little wider to go in and cover up that spot and to cover up this outside edge to make a channel all the way to the outside of the part. I could measure, and I will, just for the hell of it. From here to here is 0.7 mil escape. So that's 0.7 mil, so that's a whole lot less. So I could probably add just 1 mil to this, 13, and that'll cover both of them. It did, but it only went in one direction. It went to the outside. We want to move that to the inside to cover up this gap here too. And the way we'll do that is 15 by 6. Here we are 15 down here. But we haven't dimensioned on the left right yet, have we? No, we have not. So I'm working from absolutes here. But what I can do is click. I actually forgot something, which would have made our life a little easier here. I can go in and dimension, right now, I can dimension from this line to this line. But there's a cleaner way to do it. And I'm going to see if I can remember to do it, because I haven't done this way in a while. Now we're going to command and choose our lines. And then we're going to click O for offset. And we want that offset to be a 4 millimeter offset. And then we're going to click flip it. And that moves it to the inside. Aha! And we're going to click OK. Now the reason we did that is we don't want that to be a separate part. We're going to make these inside 4 millimeter offset lines construction lines. So you choose the line and click X on your keyboard. Choose the next line and click X, and you can see they changed to dotted lines. I'm choosing each one, and I'm hitting X on the keyboard. Now, those are construction lines, meaning they have no bearing over the final part. They're just there for reference, for my reference. The reason I did that is because now I want to set a dimension here, and I didn't want to dimension this from this because that's going to be so close. I can now dimension this from this construction line, which makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to do a dimension, and we're going to dimension this outside of the rectangle to this construction line. Bring it down here, and that's 4.29. We're going to make that an even 4 and see what happens. Hit escape. And now look at that. Our outer part, our part on the outside, the rest of the base is now one solid piece. Our slot here for the LED strips is one solid piece. And our pathway, our smaller little slot to the outside, is one smaller piece. Well, how about that? Construction lines. Use them. They come in very handy. Just draw regular lines and then just click it and hit X, and that changes it to a construction line. So we've got everything constrained here. We are now ready to extrude, which means we're ready to bring this part from the 2D world, flat on a piece of paper or on a plane, into the 3D world. Because right now it's not in the 3D world. We want to know how thick this is because that's how thick we're going to tell it our stuff is in Fusion 360 because that's what we're going to cut in the real world. So we're going to measure our thickness. And this one is 12.37. We're going to call that 12.4. Because I've learned to fudge a little bit. 12.4 millimeters is our thickness of the piece we're going to be cutting. 12.4 millimeters is how big this piece of Baltic birch plywood is, how thick it is. So that's how far we're going to extrude it. You choose the piece you want to extrude, and in this case, this is the part of the wood that isn't going to have any cuts made to it. It's going to remain its thickness here. We're going to click on it, hit E for extrude, and you can see we changed to the extrude window here. And by default, it's at 0. We're going to type in our thickness, 12.4 millimeters. .4 mil. Hit enter. And there's our piece. Come down here and click orbit. Turn it on its side and look. We've gone from the flat 2D dimensions into 3 dimensions just by extruding this guy by 12.4 millimeters. How cool is that? If you want to edit that, come down here. This is your extrude operation that we did down here in our timeline. Simply right click and choose edit feature. And you'll get your 12.4 dimension up there again. Did you screw it up and it only needed to be 10 millimeter? Okay. Type in 10, hit enter, and you can see it shrunk down. Now it's only 10 millimeters. All right. We're going to hit Command Z and go back to 12.4 millimeters because that's how thick our wood actually is. Now then, we're not finished. Hold on. What about these pieces in the middle? If we don't do anything now, we're going to have to cut this all out, and there's not going to be anything there. There's going to be just empty space because it's going to be a big hole. So what we're going to do is turn the sketch back on because by default it turns it off. Just hit the little light bulb. That turns it back on, and now there are our other planes there. Our LED strip will go there, and our control circuitry will go there and have a clear path to the outside of the part where we can plug in power from the outside. So we need to extrude these two pieces too, but we don't need to extrude them up to 12.4 because if we do, we're not cutting anything out. They're going to be the same height, or the same thickness as our wood. We have to determine how deep we want that to be. We're modeling it based on this LED base that I've already done here. So we have a thickness here. I know what the thickness is, but if you're not sure, I have one already, so we're just going to measure that. I think it's around 2.8 mil. We're going to measure that thickness or that depth. And it is, in fact, 2.8 mil. So this is 2.8 mil down from the top of the wood that we're going to go and cut out. So we want this to be 2.8 mil lower than the top of this 12.4 mil, right? We want to cut out a 2.8 mil trough or strip here in the middle for our LED strip to fit down in. We want to fit flush. So you simply say 12.4 mil, which is the thickness of your wood, minus however thick you want, however deep you want this first pocket to be, and that's how far we'll extrude this up. Because we're extruding it up from 0. We're raising it up from 0. We're raising it up. We're raising it up. So 12.4 minus 2.8. Well, 12.4 minus 2.4 leaves you 10, and we're going 0.4 more, so 9.6. So we'll hit E for extrude, click on this, and there's our dimensions. We type in 9.6, hit enter, and now that has risen up by 9.6. And you can see it hasn't risen all the way. It's stopped approximately 2.8 millimeters from the top of our wood. So there's our LED strip slot right there. We're going to continue on because we have one more slot to do. This is for the control circuitry. I happen to want this to be the exact same height, but it doesn't have to be. I'm going to make it the same height though, but it's obviously a different width here. So I'm going to make this, what was it, 9.6 also? Have you forgotten? I forgot. Let's go back and click edit that feature, right click, edit feature. Ah, 9.6. That's where it was. Hit escape. Now, click E for extrude. Click the part we want to extrude. Enter 9.6 to make it the same depth as the LED strip slot. Hit enter. Boom. Now they're both at 9.6. And you can see it actually joined them. Made them one solid slot on the top. You still have the dividing lines on the bottom where the sketch is, but up here in the real world, they're the same height, so they're the same plane. They're going to be the same depth right there. So that's it. That's what we won't cut out from there. The only thing we have left to cut out here to keep this rather simple is we want to put some nice rounded curves on it. As you see on these, we've got nice rounded radiuses here. Got radiuses on the corners. Why do a pointed square piece of wood when you can do something smooth and cool like that? So I know from experience that is a 10 millimeter radius, and so that's what we're going to put on our base here. We're going to put a 10 mil radius on our base. And to do that, it's rather easy. You click F for fillet. Click the first edge, the vertical edge you want. And that immediately asks how big do you want it to be. You can click more than one, so I click as many as I can see, which is normally 2. Now they're both there, and just hit it, enter 10, and enter, and they've both changed to a 10 millimeter fillet. Not fillet, it's fillet. To rotate them around, and we're going to do these other 2 on this side. Click F for fillet. Oh, click escape. Because when that window pops up, it's going to cover up what I'm doing. There we go. F for fillet. Click that vertical edge and that vertical edge. Type in 10. There's your 10 millimeter fillet. Spin it back around. Go to the home position. There's your hero shot. Ta-da! Hide the sketch. There's your part. Ready to go. Next part is cam.
Worst movie ever.
Oh boy, what a waste of time. Oh, get it? You know, because it's frozen?
This has been so much fun.
Hey, Rick, you know this whole time, I haven't once heard you say that wubba-lubba-dub-dub thing that you usually say?
Don't need to. I have a new catchphrase.
Oh, yeah? What's that, Rick?
I love my grandkids.
Aww.
Psych, just kidding. My new catchphrase is, I don't give a fuck. Just shake that ass, bitch, and let me see what you got. Just shake that ass, bitch, and let me see what you got. Roll credits. Just shake that ass. Roll the credits. Go. Just shake that ass. That's the end of season 1. That's the end, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck is my new catchphrase. Fuck you. That's season 1. Boom. Season 1 up in your face, motherfucker.